Welcome back to Arcturian Philosophy. Now, Cryon, he's also specifically said, hold up this book, Book 1, Teachings Given in Love, the End Times, his first book, 95, even though it was written 92. He said, Krista, just so you know, I mean, you already know this, but Teal feels really bad about that, especially because she's seeing how alive you are, and she feels really bad about that. She has a major guilt complex, is what he's saying. And I recognize, oh, I've watched the Shadow House episodes, I've seen that before, huh? So he says, you should say, sorry for being so blunt, but not sorry for standing up for oneself and fighting their way out. Also, Cryon brings this up because whether people like it or not, Cryon wants a story told, and it's point-blank obvious if you go from book 1 through book 12 and you look at the differences and everything and what gets said, what's not said. Yeah. So, again, Cryon is technically a blue Lyran. He was a blue Lyran that seeded into the reptilian race, which is somewhere underground, is what it seemed like. He was somewhere under the earth where they have their tunnels and everything. And like Bashar is a Yael, and I would think, how are Bashar and Cryon in the same room? It's like you've got Angel and some weird thing here. The way they were in the same room would be channeling in the same room or doing events together would be because Cryon was thought to be working for their agenda. And he would put things in the book, like in here it says ask for an implant and stuff, where he says no, tell them no. He didn't have very much control when he was writing, or when he was channeling the first book. He didn't have very much control in the satanic system, which is why he said bring it up and tell Teal, well, sorry and not sorry. Like with Cryon, he said he felt a lot of guilt for all the people that ended up with implants because he didn't have control of himself, being hooked up to electroshock constantly. But he told me, by book 12, I was literally like separated practically from my body. Imagine a big reptilian body, and then imagine something above it separated from it, so that he could think straight, basically. Or the example that Teal had given us a lot. Okay, I put my hand on the stove. Instead of taking my hand off the stove, I just leave my body. That kind of thing. Cryon says, I went through all of this, and most of the people that you're having problems with are going through this where they're fighting back their own programming. Or some of them are. Or they get told interesting things like, oh, if Krista helps you, she's going to leverage it. And say, I didn't even know what the word leverage meant before this in this context. Like, to leverage it to, like, make you heal me. Well, actually, sorry, I had to figure out how to heal myself, like, totally. So, no strings attached. What? So Cryon says, Krista, stop being so blunt about it. You don't have to be like that. But indigos are prone to get angry about these things. I mean, it's like, hello, one of my own people tries to kill me. Two of my own people try to kill me because I stopped nuclear war. What? That's kind of like how that feels, obviously. I mean, why are you talking about this on YouTube? You almost got murdered and... Okay, that answers the question right there. Why are you talking about getting murdered on YouTube? Oh, because, well, the news, if the news doesn't report it, if everyone will try and call me crazy and I literally have to power through all of it and stay alive and end up having a child eventually, well, then I'm just going to have to tell the story right here on YouTube, where all of anybody could find it, can't I? Or won't I have to do that? So Cryon says, for you people, like for Teal, and for some people, for the guy who, there was somebody when I turned this phone on, they'd made some kind of weird picture of like all light where I could tell it was male though, and I know who it was, doesn't matter, of light or whatever, and I'm staring at it, and I was like, is this supposed to? I actually said, is this supposed to do something? Because in the past, that kind of thing would harm me somehow. And now I'm like, is this supposed to do something? It's exactly like, okay, you guys are not getting the picture. Cryon says this. Cryon said to me, Krista, it's going to get to a point where you're just going to walk around. They'll think they're doing things to you, and it literally won't affect you. It's like you'll walk around. It's like walking around in the middle of a hurricane or something, being totally untouched inside of the hurricane, something along those lines. And so he says, just go easy. He says, go easier on Teal. She's gone through a lot, and you know that, and you ought to describe a little bit of the history. The way I activated was by watching The Ridiculous Hour. You guys can look that up, not hard. I won't say anything else about that, because I know it makes somebody pretty frightened to think about it. Watching The Ridiculous Hour, at the end of The Ridiculous Hour, that was where I suddenly became aware that I was extraterrestrial. And the way I became so suddenly aware that I was extraterrestrial was because my corresponding Arcturian, what Teal calls a soul fork. I was told, hey, you're not one of her colleagues. You're one of the superiors. It's actually what I got told. And I was like, well, who's talking? What is this? I'm not psychic. What is this? What is all of this? And suddenly it felt like being zapped on this side, on this temple, being zapped. And now I know it was actually Greys doing that, zapping people like that to activate them, to hopefully make us as their slaves, to, destroy the Earth and then move on like a parasite is basically how they operate. But I don't think they were counting on me back engineering it, and that was what I was told that I was here to do. So Andromeda, codename for the Arcturian, she said, you're not Teal's colleague, you're technically her superior. You're a professor of philosophy, and she was the best student. And I said, what, is that why I like watching her so much? And she said, yes, and she said, think about it, like a professor that's seen their student go off and fly and do an amazing job. That's why you like watching her so much. It's not because of whatever magnetism, it's because you're seeing your old student who managed to get here, went through hell, and managed to half come out, at least in one piece, but then try to, help murder me. We're gonna fix that, honey. Don't worry. We're gonna fix that. Or if you don't want to fix that, it means expand into another space based on your own stuff that I apparently taught you on Arcturus. So whatever. And I mean, during this 3 second of zap, it felt, I say zapped because it felt like being zapped by something. And that's where I realized in the prison, that the little reptilian prison that I was in Concord, California, John Muir Medical Behavioral Health Center, that it had been the Greys doing that, because one of the first things I heard after I felt hit in the head at the end of watching The Ridiculous Hour with Teal, you guys, it's easy to look up, just find it around. Yeah, just being ridiculous, just being ridiculous, whatever, And I heard the words, and it sounded like Dalek sounding, like Doctor Who, like almost Dalek-y. And I thought, that doesn't sound like Arcturians or whatever this is supposed to sound like, what people are talking about. And what they said was sleeper cell. Kind of like that. They said it, or also kind of part mechanical. or exterminate, like Daleki. They said it's a sleeper cell. And I was like, okay, I don't think my own race, the Arcturian people, I don't think they would be calling me that. Like, what? And then also, if you go on YouTube, there was one video where a girl who had experienced lots of different abductions said that she remembered at one point seeing little grays at what looked like a grid and doing different things like this and saying, activate, activate, activate. And when she was saying that, I said, oh my god, that sounds kind of like what may have happened to me. But I wasn't absolutely certain of it until I was in prison. Then I knew for sure, okay, these people zapped me in the head thinking that they could, help upgrade me faster so that I could be either used as their slave, their sacrifice, or their whatever the hell. And the purpose that I had here, one of the purposes that I had here on this planet, was specifically to back engineer the technology. One thing that the grays, all the gray species. When I say all gray species, I mean the tall ones, the short ones, the Yael ones, the hybrid Yael ones, the human Yael ones that think they're not human, but are still exhibiting all the typical traits of a human. We're talking about 58-year-old people to 16-year-old people. I mean, totally exhibiting all the traits of normal humans and oblivious to it. I mean, it's like, how stupid can you get? What I learned in this sudden download. Oh, you're okay. You're a professor. You're here to heal. I kind of did this long thing with my neck. I was like, my neck is not long enough. Something's not right, huh? And looked out at my hands kind of like this, and I said this aloud. I said, I had no idea it would be so hard to heal this biology, as if I was some other entity inside of my body. And at first it was kind of hard to deal with. It was like, you mean I'm an alien? You mean I'm an alien or something? And they said, no, I mean, no, I mean, look at you, like, hello, human, I mean, like, you can't, hello, human, but you have a soul stream that is partly what you would call alien, or we call it extraterrestrial. You can take it or leave it, basically, even though the Greys tried to force it on me. It ended up being something good. What they ended up telling me later, so that no one could interfere with the process of this, they told me the point of us getting you into a position where you would get zapped like that by them is so that we could isolate their technology, using you as like the biological transmitter almost, picking up an information feed from my entire body, my entire system, and analyzing it extra-dimensionally. So, analyzing what was done here, and then, as if, say, an alien craft crash-landed like Roswell, and everybody's like, hey, okay, how does this thing work? That's the idea. They said, you're in there to experience these different things, and we are here to back-engineer it so that it doesn't work anymore. And apparently I'm pretty good at it, because whenever I either get told something by Greys or when they try to do something to me, usually what happens is I figure out whatever is happening so quickly or unconsciously that it just deflects immediately. Like, whatever that weird picture was supposed to be, it was like the guy like with his hands like this, and you couldn't see the face, and I knew that was deliberate. And I was like, is this supposed to do something? I could feel that there was energy that came off of it, but immediately my own energy came back. It's as if they will mix, And then this becomes analyzed and transmuted through connection with Ashtar Command. That's going to be a fun topic to talk about. They run a war, while laughing hysterically the entire time. You would, not believe it. You wouldn't believe it. As far as, is the Ashtar Command real? I just know that whatever tried to keep me alive was very real, said its name was Ashtar, and said, look, if you're in with us, we're going to protect you, at the reptilian healer guy, which means that they have more advanced abilities to create out-of-body experience. What Ashtar told me is that, see, you're very stuck, kind of anchored into your body, and that's because we need you like that. We can't have you floating everywhere like Teal or like other people. We have to have you stuck in there, because that way you have authority on the earth as a human, as one of the, quote, normal people. You have authority to say no. No, I refuse all of this. It doesn't matter if I don't see auras constantly. It doesn't matter if I maybe see an orb here or there. Actually, with the orbs and stuff, he said your vision has been kind of blinded a little bit because you're being watched so extensively that if you could see us around you, that would give the other side a tactical advantage. Because they're watching. See, what they'll do is they'll shoot things into your eyes that are called tags, and you can actually feel it. Also, bridge of the nose, back of the spine, temples, and for people that get really screwed, back of the spine. For people that aren't as bothered, foot, and then if they start to get serious, like, oh, you're really pesky, besides eyes and foot, then they'll go for bridge of the nose, or sinuses, and that happened to me. I realized, because I woke up one day and it just hurts on one of the sides of my nose. I knew that I hadn't slept wrong or done something wrong. I knew that there was something there. Then I remembered Kelly and the Raw and the tag from sinuses, and I thought, oh, yeah, I knew it. I knew there was something going on like that. So, Cryon, you told me to say sorry and not sorry to Teal. How do you want me to do this? And he says, well, express your understanding of the situation. And he says about the issue with the parents. Express your sympathy regarding the issue with the parents. That I obviously have an issue with the parents, and that makes currently a relationship with parents impossible. With my parents, we've got reptilians and Yaels there who thought that they were gonna enslave me, because when I came out of the birth canal, they said, oh shit, it's an indigo Arcturian, oh my god. And so when you've got an indigo Arcturian, that's a scary combination, especially if the baby ends up being part genetically Arcturian. On that topic, I with Jim from Human Colony saying, oh, 6% Arcturian, I'm not sure, what I think about the ethics of this. How did that happen? Who did that? I obviously right now I definitely approve. But interfering in the physicality of the genetics, I would think to myself, guys, I understand if you're projecting forth your soul stream, but would you consider that wrong to put part of your DNA into the human there because you don't invade? And okay, so the answer that I'm getting is, well, we tried already just projecting our soul streams forth, but as soon as they would see us, we would get killed because we would be just like the other humans, susceptible to the same diseases as the other humans, and have the same problems as the other humans. We would commit suicide, get killed off somehow, or get taken away and never seen again. So we decided to take these measures because your people were still screaming for help. And they asked me, well, do you prefer what occurred, or would you have preferred another course? And I say, whoa, okay, I completely prefer whatever was different about me genetically, whatever was done to make me somehow slightly genetically superior, so that I could quote superior, just meaning different, so that I could navigate around all this bullshit, basically. What else? Anything else, guys? Anything else, guys? Well, what I'm getting told is for Teal, help is on the way if you want it. But remember that getting told, oh, if somebody helps you, then they're gonna, want stuff back from you, and they're gonna say, you have to do this for me, you have to do that for me. That's more programming. That's a lie. That's why I'm making my deprogramming series, because I have to do it myself. I've got to figure out how to wash the damn dishes, do the damn wash. I have to figure out how to clean a house. I have to figure out how to do it all by myself. With the exception of invisible guides following me around, telling me, okay, do you think now that you can do this? Okay, if that's too much, how about you try a little bit and then do this? Okay, how about then we'll start with this. All right, you remember from psychology all these different associations. Okay, why don't you make this color instead of that color? Why don't you change this association that you have rather than think of this thing? Change the way the furniture is arranged. I mean, there are all kinds of tricks around this, in addition to Ibogaine. But because Ibogaine's got itself out of control, I did the little video because I could hear it this morning. All the little plants were talking to each other through their root systems, and kind of a waving of the leaves a little bit, like vibrations. They were talking through the vibrations and hearing, oh, someone is telling us that we have to die. Oh no, someone's telling us we have to die. What do we do? And then they go throughout their grove. It was a grove, Cameroon or something. It was like a big grove where they were being farmed back practically. And they went to the bigger iboga tree, and the bigger iboga tree said, yes, this is true. I see this is true. This is why it has been hard for us to grow. We cannot be tolerating this. We must stop it, and we must help the ones who know that this must be stopped. With Ibogaine, there isn't really a way to stop the corruption until we take out Ibogaine, period. And then, once the corruption's gone, start it back up. That's what Howard said, pretty much. He said, okay, we have to take the entire thing out. And then when they're coming to you saying, Krista, you made all our crops fail. Uh-oh, you made all my real estate fail because that was my backup. Oh shit, my stocks are all failing. Uh-oh, crap, the world economy has just died. Howard says, when all this stuff is going to come tumbling down on them, on all of them, they're going to know it's associated with you. He says they say they have a way of pinpointing signals, so they knew that I was the person who had something to do with the nuclear arm of Agenda 21, because he's saying like they could pinpoint your signal. like someone on a cell phone, right? And let's say you're watching Breaking Bad or something, and someone's on a cell phone and they know the cell phone's being tracked, and say they break the cell phone. He says it's like that, where they can try to hone in on the signal that interfered with their signal. Or the way I would see it when I was being attacked, I would see it almost like a billion things trying to come into my head, fighting for who would get the stream in. And I would get shown that picture and say, okay, here, be careful. There's all of this stuff. It's trying to mess around with you. So yeah, and then going off of that, apparently the person that I was a little mad about, I mean, hello, relating happiness and fear together and trying to program me to do that. No. But I'm getting told that she has to deal with that constantly. She has to deal with things trying to basically hack into her constantly. And, well, one thing that I noticed, see, I'm one of those people who remembers Teal Scott. I'm one of the Teal Scott people. See, I knew who, it took me a while to actually say Swan, even though I knew that was her real name. I'm one of the people who remembers the older stuff. And something changed. Something completely changed. And it wasn't long after I sent the email saying, hey, I remember you. I was told that I was a professor of philosophy on this place called Arcturus, and that you were the best student. Like, hello, thank you, for helping me learn this. Do you know anything about this? And it was right after that, I mean, very quickly after that, that things began to change. And I noticed pretty quickly, wait, something seems just wrong. Something seems wrong here. Like something just went wrong. Almost. And what's interesting is that I almost, quote, went wrong in the same direction, because I would listen to her all the time. And I would think to myself, well, you know what? Yeah, I can feel it, that nuclear war is going to happen. I can sense it too. But all those people are acting stupid. They don't even believe that this stuff is true. I mean, why are they worth ascending? That's the mindset that they wanted us in. See. And also the mindset of, oh, well, you know, anything is right. In a construct that you're building for yourself, everything you do is right. So if you're making a nuclear war, then that's right, right? Well, okay, from Nietzsche and beyond good and evil, I'm going to say again, we can go beyond good and evil, and we can do it the smart way or the stupid way. The stupid way would be, let's blow each other up, because, oh, well, we're not going to call that good or evil. We're just going to call it stupid and blow each other up. We could also say we're beyond good and evil, and we're going to do it the smart way, which involves a bunch of people ascending and lots of free energy and all of this different stuff. We're going to do it the smart way, where this one here has a child, and where that child's pretty different from other children, and where she's going to have to learn how to protect that child in a world full of reptilians. Well, think about the law of attraction, guys. If we had been, okay, and also hackers, alright, you want to blow stuff up, right? What does that mean for you? What is measured out is measured back to you. Simplest way to state the law of attraction, like Jesus. You measure out a nuclear war. Okay, you bomb stuff. Oh, Moscow, measured back to me. Oh, DC, measured back. Oh, India, measured back. Oh, Africa, South Africa, measured back to you. Oh, and oh crap, then suddenly everybody's out of control and the entire world explodes. That's what I was told. It was like one of the potentials that would have happened if the nuclear arms were not taken offline. like they were, and why it was so important that I participate, or else, even though I had been led to believe that, oh, well, everybody over there in the Northeast area is getting harped to death, they're stupid, and if they don't want to ascend, well then, okay, they're drawing the nuclear war to themselves. But see, if you are complicit with that mentality, that the devil is in the details. If you are complicit with that kind of mentality, okay, yeah, other people aren't worth this because they won't agree with me. And I understand that I am ascending, but they don't want to, so they're drawing getting blown up to themselves. If you have that kind of mentality, it's like what Cryon's talking about. It's Cryon saying that is a toxic state of consciousness. Like he says to me, Krista, it's okay to say you're pissed at Manikya Sudevi. It's okay to say you're pissed at Teal Scott or Teal Swan. Like I remember her as Teal Scott because that's how I listened to. It's okay to say you're pissed at Max and Jim and Zach on Human Colony. It's okay to say say that you're pissed, but it's not. He's saying that this toxic state of consciousness of willing the destruction of others because they disagree contradicts the very state of consciousness that you're thinking you promote. So if you are promoting a telepathic society with free energy, with no money or currency system, with, as what Arcturians have told me, is that it's more an exchange of energy, is how they buy, quote, buy and sell, is more like exchange of energy, like, or someone else said, you're basically taken care of by what would be called the government, even though they don't call it like a government, and have councils and such, but still, the idea is, it's almost quasi-Amish, it seemed like, but not like crazy, like the Amish, where it's self-contained, where you're taken care of and then encouraged, especially the children, where it's encouraged, oh, the children are smarter than the adults, every generation builds upon the next, will encourage the children to go in the direction of what they want to do. They'll exhibit their natural skills, and they'll make our society even greater than it is today. If you have that mindset, and then also have a mindset of, oh, those other people don't believe me, I'm going to blow them up, or not, I'm going to blow them up, but I'm okay with them getting blown up, if the Illuminati are going to do that, whatever, they're drawing it to themselves. If you have those two states of consciousness, Cryon says, doesn't work. He says it's like this. They're conflicting states of consciousness. He's cognitive dissonance, like what I learned. This is cognitive dissonance. The two things cannot exist together. So for all the people who went nuts that, oh crap, Krista stopped nuclear war, Krista Hauer here stopped the nuclear war that would have happened, stopped, Philadelphia from getting flooded or whatever, and stopped my cousin Kenny from dying. Kenny Zimbelman, yeah. And you too, Candace. Yeah, I see you in your room making poppets and crap. Yeah, I do. Stop it, because, no, you don't get to live where I live. While I was being threatened, different things would fly around the house from one of my cousins who was born completely psychic, completely extrasensory. She was born completely extrasensory, and papers would fly around the house that would say the house that this apartment was being sold to her, and that my soul was being sold for $80. And I looked at it and I said, "Oh my God, no! Whoa, okay, you guys, the entire family decided to go into the sick Mason stuff. Well, no, and I don't have to stand alone. I stand with all of the stars behind me. I stand with the star fleets behind me saying, no, that's why I am still alive, if people haven't got it through their heads. Candace Zimbelman, you asked for a bona fide miracle. You're looking at her. You are looking at her right now. So, if you didn't believe that that stuff was real, oh yeah, it's real. So, okay, so the concept is pretty simple here, where if you're thinking that you're going to be in a peaceful, loving society, you cannot at the same time think, I'm killing off other people, don't agree. Those states of consciousness conflict. They said, the reason that we are making you a queen of this area, and also all the videos that I made that were announcing that, or the way that it was said to me, got deleted. So, I'll have to say it again, I suppose. And I was told, Zach, who deleted them, does not know that what he's doing is exponentially helping you, just like Patrick did not know. Patrick Krupa did not know. Oh, taking me off the Ibogaine list, exponentially helping me. That's what I was told. Oh, don't get too pissed about it, because it's going to help you, even though it looks like it won't. So, you guys you guys can't sit over there in New York and be like, yeah, we want peace and love, and we want to blow up the people who don't agree. It simply doesn't work that way. This is a matter of pure physics. That it simply cannot work that way. And because the Earth is a living organism, because it has aligned with ascension, the humans that align with it, the humans in any entity that align with it, will ascend with it. And the ones who are holding up mirrors and stuff will experience problems as we go further. It seems like with the Agenda 21 thing, with that suddenly with that going off and then not going off exactly as planned, we've pretty much got a whole interesting half war on our hands. I suppose after this I'll talk about the Ashtar Command in another video, because watching those people work is like, it's something else. Watching them doing all this stuff and talking to each other, but not, they don't do this because they don't have to. They're just like thinking to each other. But I do that because it doesn't make sense to me as a human, really, to be like talking to someone and not looking at them, really. So that's the point, guys. You can't say peace and love and blow up the people that don't agree. You can't say peace and love and then false flag attack. Whatever. Oh, and also Arcturian last words. We false flag just as well as they do. And that's how we got you in, Krista. Yep. So keep on going. And you're going to see your planet evolve. And yes, I'm looking deliberately intimidating, because most of the people who originally watched this are going to be people who are wanting to kill me. So, sorry, you simply cannot kill me. And I am going to stay on YouTube. Blessings from Arcturian philosophy.